are more than 3 weeks into the new year, so you've probably bailed on all your New Year's resolutions that you made. Not me, not all of them, not yet. But if you want to get back on track, it is time to get fearless. Jean Case is the chairman of the National Geographic Society and the CEO of the Case Foundation. And for more than 2 decades, she and her husband, AOL founder Steve Case, have been investing in people who are changing the world. Her advice to reaching your goals? Be fearless. It's also the name of her new book. Nice to have you with us.
Thanks, Soledad. I've really been looking forward to this.
Thank you. Me too. So sometimes people who push back on being fearless will say, you know, actually, I need to be practical. I'm not rich. I'm not well positioned yet. So shouldn't I be practical first?
Yeah, it's a fair question, and I really should start out by saying, although the book is called Be Fearless, really what it's about is understanding fear will play a role in your life and pushing past it when you see it. Some people get caught up in this idea that it takes a special genius or some special quality that they don't have wealth or connections or the right school to take their idea forward. So about 6 years ago, the Case Foundation led some research to look at the core qualities of change makers and innovators and entrepreneurs. And what we found were really 5 simple principles that are present wherever transformational change takes place.
Let's walk through some of those principles.
Sure.
You lay them out kind of in chapters in the book. You say, take the big bet.
That's right.
And again, I think people are like, well, I would if I felt like I had a net underneath me.
Right.
But I don't have a net, so I'm going to take the little bet, the nice, safe, little, tiny step that I know I can do.
The great thing about all of the principles and really what the research revealed is it debunked the myth that you have to have some special quality. And the stories that are in the book, it really is a storytelling book to bring the principles to life. So the first story is Dr. Barbara Van Dalen, and she had an idea when we were at sort of the peak of the war and over 200,000 men and women were serving. Their families needed mental health support, but we didn't have the capacity in our administrations to serve them. So she started doing a pro bono hour, you know, an hour a week where she would bring families in. She got friends to do it. She called me one day and asked me to come in, and she said, I want to build a national network of doctors. And, you know, looking at her, she was a sole practitioner. She didn't have an MBA. She hadn't done any, or she didn't even have an assistant. You know, she used an answering machine. And, you know, after I heard the passion and the conviction and the urgency she brought to the moment, I said, go for it. Well, not only did she got thousands and thousands of doctors from around the nation to join her. Her movement was called Give an Hour. And to date, they've done over $25 million in pro bono mental health care for military families.
Which is amazing. And it really does add up those little steps. You say make failure matter.
Really, the point of the failure principle is to say, take the lessons from failure. They can be very powerful in terms of moving you forward and improving on your idea or what you're trying to get done.
I want to talk about unlikely partnerships.
Yeah.
I think often we gravitate to the people we know who are like us, who make us feel comfortable, who kind of think the same way because...
Hey, that's comfortable, right? Yeah, that principle is called reach beyond your bubble. And the idea is, like it or not, we're all in a bubble. And so it actually takes, you know, intentionality to get out of that bubble. And how you do that is really try to surround yourself with people who think differently, have different backgrounds, different perspectives. There's overwhelming data, much of which I put in the book, that says diverse teams outperform non-diverse teams. This is true in companies, this is true in organizations. And so for those who don't want to build diversity, let's say, because it's the right thing to do, they might look at building more diverse teams because they know it's really smart business now.
The book is called Be Fearless. Jean Case, it's so nice to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Soledad. Great to be with you.
Appreciate it.